Ethan Cole had been driving for almost 6 hours through endless rain-soaked highways. His GPS had lost signal nearly 40 miles ago, and the road signs looked older than the forests surrounding them. Midnight wrapped the countryside in darkness so thick it felt alive. The storm worsened. Rain hammered against the windshield while thunder rattled the car windows. Ethan gripped the steering wheel tighter, exhausted after filming a documentary in a nearby town. His phone battery had died hours earlier. No music. No signal. Just the sound of rain and the lonely road ahead. Then he saw her. A woman stood at the side of the road beneath a flickering street lamp. Pale skin. Long wet black hair covering half her face. She wore an old gray coat that looked decades out of date. Ethan slowed. Nobody should have been standing alone out there at that hour. As he rolled down the window slightly, freezing wind rushed inside the car. "Miss, are you okay?" The woman slowly lifted her head. Her lips trembled. "The bus crashed again," she whispered. Ethan frowned. "What bus?" But before she could answer, headlights suddenly appeared behind him. A massive truck blasted its horn. Ethan looked in the mirror for only a second. When he turned back, the woman was gone. Completely gone. No footprints. No movement. Nothing. A shiver crawled down his spine. Then his radio crackled to life by itself. A distorted voice whispered through static. "Don't take Black Hollow Road." The radio died. But ahead, a rusty sign pointed left. Black Hollow Road, 7 miles. And against every instinct screaming inside him, Ethan turned left. The road narrowed as Ethan drove deeper into the forest. Trees leaned unnaturally close to the pavement, their twisted branches scratching against the sides of his car like skeletal fingers. Fog rolled across the road in thick waves, making visibility nearly impossible. Then he noticed something strange. No animals. No insects. No sound at all. The deeper he drove, the quieter the world became. Finally, after another 15 minutes, the trees opened up to reveal a small forgotten town. Black Hollow. Most of the buildings were abandoned. Storefront windows were shattered. Rusted cars sat motionless beside cracked sidewalks. Old streetlights flickered weakly despite the obvious lack of electricity. It looked frozen in time. Then Ethan spotted movement. A yellow school bus sat near the center of town. Its headlights were still on. The front windshield was shattered. And the entire side of the bus was stained dark red. Ethan stepped out of the car cautiously. The cold hit him immediately. His breath fogged in the air. As he approached the bus, he realized the door was hanging open slightly. Something inside creaked. Slowly. Back and forth. Ethan climbed the steps. Rows of empty seats stretched into darkness. Water dripped from the ceiling. Then he noticed small handprints smeared across the windows. Tiny bloody handprints. His breathing quickened. Suddenly, a child's voice whispered behind him. "Why didn't you save us?" Ethan spun around. No one. Then every seat behind him creaked at once. One by one. As if invisible children had just sat down. And at the very back of the bus, a little girl slowly raised her head. Her jaw hung unnaturally low. Eyes completely black. She smiled. Ethan stumbled backward out of the bus, falling onto the wet pavement. His heart pounded violently. The little girl was gone. The bus was silent again. Then he heard something crackling nearby. An old radio station inside a diner across the street. The neon open sign flickered weakly. Against his better judgment, Ethan entered. Dust covered everything. Coffee cups still sat on tables as if people had vanished mid-meal. The radio behind the counter played a distorted emergency broadcast. Black Hollow school bus tragedy, 17 children missing, driver never found. Ethan froze. The broadcast continued through static. October 14, 1987. Almost 40 years ago. Suddenly, Ethan noticed newspaper clippings pinned across the wall. Local children vanish after bus crash. No bodies recovered. Black Hollow evacuated. One article caught his attention. A photograph of the bus driver. Ethan's blood turned cold. It was the same man from the truck earlier. The same face. The same eyes. Thunder exploded outside. The diner lights flickered violently. Then all the radios inside the building turned on at once. Children screaming filled the room. Ethan covered his ears. And then he heard footsteps upstairs. Heavy. Slow. Dragging. Something massive moved above him. The ceiling creaked. Dust fell onto the counter. Another step. Closer. Then a voice growled from upstairs. You shouldn't have come back. The stairs leading upward creaked open by themselves. Darkness waited above. And somewhere in that darkness, something breathed. Ethan should have run. Every instinct told him to get back into his car and leave Black Hollow forever. But fear and curiosity trapped him. He grabbed a flashlight from the diner counter and slowly climbed the stairs. The second floor smelled rotten. Mold covered the walls. Family photographs hung crookedly along the hallway, but every face had been scratched out violently. At the end of the hall stood a metal door slightly open. A faint humming sound echoed from below it. Ethan pushed it open carefully. Basement stairs. The smell hit him instantly. Decay. Death. His flashlight trembled in his shaking hand as he descended slowly. Then the beam revealed something horrifying. Children's shoes. Dozens of them. Covered in dust. Arranged neatly in rows. Ethan nearly vomited. The basement stretched farther than it should have beneath the building, almost like underground tunnels. Then he heard whispering. Soft children's voices. Crying. Begging. Help us. Suddenly the flashlight flickered. And in the darkness, figures appeared. Children standing motionless around him. Their skin pale and swollen. Eyes hollow black. Some missing jaws. Others with broken necks twisted unnaturally. Water dripped from their bodies as if they had drowned. Ethan backed away slowly. Then the truck driver emerged from the shadows. Towering. Smiling. His face looked barely human now, skin stretched tight over something rotten underneath. You left us in the river, one child whispered. The driver tilted his head. They still scream every night. Then Ethan saw it. A deep flooded tunnel behind them. The school bus rested underwater inside it. Filled with tiny skeletons. And suddenly, every ghost child turned toward Ethan at once. Ethan ran. The children screamed behind him as the truck driver chased him through the tunnels. The walls shook violently. Water burst from cracked pipes. The entire underground system groaned like it was alive. Ethan climbed the stairs back into the diner and sprinted outside into the storm. But the town had changed. Every street was now filled with people. Dead people. Residents of Black Hollow stood motionless in the rain staring directly at him. Their pale faces expressionless. Their eyes empty black voids. Then Ethan heard the sound. A school bus engine starting. Slowly, the old yellow bus rolled toward him through the fog. Its headlights glowed like burning eyes. The doors folded open. Inside sat the ghost children silently waiting. And at the wheel, the driver smiled. "You're late," he whispered. Suddenly invisible hands grabbed Ethan from behind. The townspeople. Cold dead fingers dragged him toward the bus. Ethan screamed and fought desperately, but the ghosts were impossibly strong. The little girl from before stood in the doorway. Tears of black liquid streamed down her face. "We need one more passenger." The townspeople shoved Ethan inside. The doors slammed shut. The bus slowly drove into the fog. And Black Hollow disappeared once more. 3 days later, police found Ethan's abandoned car beside the highway. The engine was still running. But Ethan was never seen again. Locals say that during storms, travelers sometimes see an old school bus driving through the woods near Black Hollow Road. And if the bus stops for you, never get inside.